Today we are going to be installing the Bluetti Charger 1 into my own personal vehicle. This will be a step-by-step tutorial on how to permanently install the Charger 1. But first, let's go ahead and unbox it in this clip shown here. Now before we get started with the unboxing portion of this video, a lot of people are going to be wondering, what is the Bluetti Charger 1 and what are its use cases for me? The Bluetti Charger 1 is a DC to DC fast charger that uses the solar inputs on your power station to charge up to 560 watts. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, why can't I just use my cigarette lighter? Your cigarette lighter only provides about 100 and 110 watts. It's just not very efficient and it's not very fast. The Bluetti Charger 1 is the way to go. Some of the best use cases for the Bluetti Charger 1 are when you're out camping, fast recharge when you're out camping. Power failure. If my home's power fails and I do not have a way to recharge my power stations, I can bring them out to my car and get them recharged in about an hour or two. Then you have van lifestyle. A lot of people who convert their vans into a living quarters will use Bluetti power stations and Charger 1s to keep their power stations topped up so that they can use all their appliances. We can't forget road trips. My fiance and I often take road trips to Alabama, and it's going to be super helpful to ensure that my power stations will be charged up and topped off by the time we get there, ready to charge cell phones, laptops, and anything else we need charged up. So there's just a few use cases for the Charger 1. Of course, there are many more, but this is just to give you a general idea of what it can do for you. I'm more than happy to install it in my vehicle. It's an easy process that you guys are about to see here coming up in the next few minutes. I also apologize if the video at all seems kind of grainy. I forgot to take my phone out of HDR mode when filming this video, so everything looks kind of grainy, but you still get the basic idea across. It doesn't affect or hinder the video at all. So with that being said, let's go ahead and unbox this Charger 1 and get it in the vehicle. So this is going to be the unboxing portion of this video before installation. As you can see there, Bluetti Charger 1 DC to DC charger. I bought this, Bluetti sent it out. I mean, it probably took 36 hours for it to arrive at my door. It was very quick, very fast. Bluetti is very good about sending stuff out pretty quick, and usually it's free shipping. So, this is my first time seeing it, so let's unbox this together. Obviously a very good presentation so far. Obviously they want you to keep the box in case you have to return it. So this is the first look, at least my first look, of the Bluetti Charger 1. Let's see what we got here. So very sleek, very minimalistic design. It's really no bigger than the palm of my hand, as you can see there. It's like an amp. If you've ever installed a subwoofer amp in your vehicle, it's kind of like that, and it's not going to be any harder than that to install. But if you've never installed one of those before, and you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's all right, because this is an installation video as well, so we will get to that. So I'm going to set this Charger 1 straight over here. It's going to be out of your line of sight. Obviously, you got your silica gel. Don't let anyone get into that. Going deeper into the box, we have another box. Let's see if I can't pull this out without tearing anything up. Okay, so we've got the box that was deeper in the box now. Let's see what we have in here. So Bluetti does very generously include you with the wiring kit for this. And I guess some screws. Looks like an Allen key and a mounting plate. So that's generous of them. I'm gonna set that off to the side. You have your circuit breaker here, which is crucial. You will have to install that there. You cannot go around that. So here we have the solar outputs. So these plug in to the Charger 1, as you see there, positive and negative, just like that. They kind of look like a little headphone jack. You know, it's nothing serious, it's nothing major. These will plug into your Bluetti's solar charger that is provided with any Bluetti that you get and or buy. It'll come with it. So that's very nice of them to include, you know, with the Bluetti power stations, the solar cables. And then I'm not gonna sit here and unravel these cables. But obviously you have the sheathing for them. You've got your negative and you have your positive. So obviously that end goes on to the actual battery itself. And then this end is what plugs into the Charger 1. Same deal on this, Charger 1 and battery. So in a minute here, we will get on with installation and we will figure this out. Now, Bluetti also graciously includes a user manual to show you exactly what you're gonna need, all the tools that you're gonna need, how to do it, where to do it, you know, just the basic information. But you're not here to read the instructions, you're here to watch them. So let's get on with the installation. Before we get started, I have to locate an area in my trunk that I would like to install this Charger 1, but I cannot do that right now because my audio equipment is in the way. So let's take that out and go from there. All right, so now that I've got my audio equipment out, I'm going to go ahead and locate a place that I want to stick this thing permanently. And you might be saying, you know, oh, how are you gonna keep your Bluetti power stations back here if your audio equipment's too big? I'm building a new box for this car specifically. That's going to be a lot smaller. This was just a temporary setup. So by next week, I should have a different subwoofer setup back here. So it shouldn't be a problem. But let's go ahead and locate a place where we want to put this Charger 1 and go from there. Of putting it right here, kind of in this little corner area, kind of stick it right there, you know what I'm saying? And because I'm also going to be running my power wire down my passenger side, that does make sense. And no, these are not live. Do not have any power going to this amp right now, so don't worry about that. I could go the easy way and tap off my power wire from my amplifier and just run it straight into the Charger 1. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you guys how, like I said, how to permanently install it and run it through the floorboards and all of that mess. So let's go ahead and get on with the wiring aspect of it, and then we will find out a better mounting situation for it here shortly. Back seats, rear seats do not fold down. We are going to have to use the same trick I used to pull my speaker wire through. We're going to have to get a coat hanger, kind of shim it between the seat, and it's going to pop out back here, and I'm going to tape the wires on and pull it through. Now, typically when you're installing subwoofer speaker wire, you would do it the opposite. You would go from here and pull this way, but since the circuit breaker on this is at the front of the line, we can't pull that through, you know, the back of the seats there. So we're going to take this and pull it through the rear end instead of going through the front end like you would traditionally. What I do first before I do any of that though is go ahead and start popping off these plastic panels. Those have to come off so that you can run the wire through and then through the engine bay. So let's go ahead and start pulling those panels. So we're going to start with this panel right here. Go ahead and pull it off and then go, you know, 1, 2, 3, all the way to the front. So let's go ahead and get that done. So as you can see, we got those panels popped off. I don't want to take this one off all the way because it will take the weather stripping off the door. As you can see, it's already doing there. But we're just gonna keep pulling these panels off, and when I've got them all, now that we've got all our panels popped off, you can see I've got this one, I don't have it all the way off. I've got that one popped off. You come around, I took my floor mat out, popped those two out, got this one out, and we're, like I said, for my instance, for my vehicle, we're running this through the side, passenger side, and you pop down this little footwell, and then back there, you can barely see it, but you can kind of see where I've got my subwoofer wire. You can barely see it. We're going to fish through there and into the engine bay. But we have to start, like I said, non-traditionally in the back. So let's go ahead and start running this wire. This coat hanger and fish it through so that I can grab it on the other side. I'm not going to pull it all the way through because I'm going to tape the wires on that end right there. So this is going to be maybe a little bit of a disturbing shot, but I'm going to have to crawl into the back of this trunk like so and
feed this here coat hanger just on through until I can find it on the other side. So there we go, we got it. Fish through there. This would be so much easier if Lexus would just allow you to fold the back seats down, but they do not. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get that cable fished through the back end here. So let's go ahead and see if we can't do that. It's kind of tricky. You have to go behind the carpet for this to work. And I feel the coat hanger, and there it is. We just pulled it out just like that. And when we go on the other end, it's still sticking out right there. That's the end we're going to tape the cable around, and we're gonna fish it on through. So let's go ahead and do that. All we're gonna be using to tape this is classic electrical tape. I'm not gonna use my good electrical tape. That's why I have this red tape. So what we're gonna do is we're going to bundle these up and stick them here on this wire and grab our electrical tape and just start wrapping. Wrap the absolute crap out of it, because if you don't, when you go to start to pull, it's going to pull off and you're gonna have to redo this whole process. You wanna make sure you're doing like I'm doing. You want to especially cover up and tape anything that might get snagged and pull. So I'm going to just lather this up in tape. Okay, so here's the finished product. You can see we just pulled our coat hanger through. Whoops. We'll stick it back through. This is the finished product. There are no exposed ends, and this is just going to make it a lot easier to fish all the way through without getting snagged on anything and this coat hanger pulling out. So let me run this coat hanger back through, and then we're going to fish it through here. So I've got the wire strung through the coat hanger. I'm about to start pulling, and you guys are going to see how this works. And just like that, I'll bring you guys over here. The cable is pulled through. That's as easy as it was. We have the cable pulled through. We're gonna go ahead and unravel all that electrical tape here, because we just don't need it anymore as of right this second. So we're gonna go ahead and peel all this off and run the cable through the plastic area right here and then up through the firewall. This part is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to run this wire through the plastics like we just talked about. We're going to try our best to keep this wire loom within the rest of these wire looms like this, because it makes it a lot easier to clip the plastic back in and everything. If you have it hanging out over here or way out here, those plastics will not clip back in. So we're going to try our hardest to keep it with all of the other cables just like that. So I'm going to run this through these panels and I'll get back with you. Got the wire pulled through. Now we have to fish it through the firewall wire harness. You can barely see it up there, but we're going to use the exact same wire coat hanger trick that we used for the trunk on this, and I'll show you guys exactly where to put it. So right there, as you can just barely make it out, there is a grommet that the wires come through. We're going to poke through that with our coat hanger, and we're going to come around the end here and tap straight into the battery. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and fish the coat hanger through there and pull it out on the other end. Now that I've kind of moved that grommet out of the way, you can see where I have fished that coat hanger through. Let's go pull it through on the other side. Come back through on the other side. This is the passenger side, by the way. Footwell, you can see just barely where the coat hanger has come through. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up with electrical tape and then run it straight through the firewall. Now we got these cables tied up, we're going to go ahead and pull on the coat hanger and get it fished through. I can see it already, and I've got it pulled through, just like that. It's that easy. In case, we want to be extremely careful with all the computer connections right here. So we are going to put the cable behind all of these connectors so we don't mess anything up, just like that. That way we're not interfering with anything. We are not tugging on any of those cables. We have the wire ran through. We're going to go ahead and pop all of our panels back on. just to make sure everything still fits appropriately and we don't have to rearrange anything. That we have all of the panels buttoned up and back in their original spaces. So let's go ahead and connect everything to the battery. Have all the wires ran. Let's go ahead and mount our Charger 1 and get it hooked up and then connect it to the actual battery. That way we have less of a chance of shorting anything together and arcing anything. Let's go ahead and mount this up and connect it to the battery. Where I decided to mount the Charger 1. Unfortunately it is upside down, but you got your inputs there for positive and negative, and then there are set screws behind these flaps that you tighten down with, and I'm about to put the outputs on. All buttoned up here in the back. Let's go wire it in to the battery at the front. So now we're going to go ahead and connect it to the actual battery itself. I just barely have enough cable to make this run here, so we're going to start with the negative terminal, which is a 10 millimeter here, and go ahead and loosen it up all the way. For the positive terminal here, it's going to be a 12 millimeter. All right, and that is everything hooked up battery wise. Let's go ahead and try this out. I have my Bluetti AC70 here hooked into the Bluetti Charger 1. It is not charging. As you can see, it is off. We're going to flip our breaker there, come around, get in the vehicle, and start the vehicle. Make sure everything runs as normal. Get out. And there it is. It is going to start charging here. You can see the solar input starting to rise. Now this can output up to 560 watts, but it just depends on what you have your power station settings on. Right now 223 watts is pretty good, especially since I'm at 96%. It will get this thing charged up real quick. So there we are. It's working properly. The cool thing about the Charger 1 is now that I've turned the vehicle off, it knows and it will not charge the Bluetti power station if the vehicle is not running. That way you cannot run your battery out and in an emergency situation, won't be able to start your car. So now that I've turned the car off, it knows and it has stopped charging. That'll be it for this installation. It was a fairly easy, non-complicated installation. Of course, everyone else's use case and way to wire it and everything is going to be different. This specific video is how to show you how to do it with a Lexus ES350, but you can use my tips and tricks with other vehicles. Now you may be asking yourself, what's the point of even getting a Bluetti Charger 1? Here are a few instances where I would use it in an emergency situation. Let's say my power is out at my house and the clouds are in the sky and I can't get any solar. I still have to find a way to plug in my power station, recharge, and get my refrigerator and all my essentials back running. Now, a lot of people say, well, just plug it into the 12 volt in your car socket. That only gets you about 100, 110 watts of power. It's just not enough if you're trying to get it charged back up and get your refrigerator back going for all that food spoils. The DC to DC Charger 1 charges at a max rate of 560 watts. That's going to charge a lot faster than 110. You can plug that refrigerator back in real quick and use less gas while you're charging. That's going to be it for this video. I hope that these tips and tricks will help you to install your Bluetti Charger 1. All of these use cases and scenarios won't be the same for me as they will be for you, but hopefully you can kind of get an idea of how to install it and what to use it for. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Have a good day. Thank you.